Okay, welcome everyone to our Monday morning kickoff call. Don Carson, Blue Diamond with Valentus. Very proud to say that, considering, you know what, it's been a journey. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about, for me, really what I learned along this last couple of days of travel, where I'm meeting and greeting and talking to people and understanding what they're looking for from this Valentus journey. That, you know what, we all need to understand that we've just got started, right? And when I think about that, I'm starting to understand some of the mistakes I've made along the way. So I wanted to share with a lot of you today some of the key points and nuggets that I've learned recently on this journey that I've been on. So my wife and I started in this program, for many of you that are on the call for the first time, in August of 2015, and it was as a result of a boating accident a year before that really got us started from a product standpoint. And so when I thought about how we started, I relate that today on how I'm going along this journey. And, you know, I've started to really understand that the why that we all talk about is so much more important than we really realize. And so I wanted to touch on that today and what my direction is in terms of, you know, sharing now the why and trying to make that connection with our people. But when we kickstart our week and we really want to make sure that we get the most out of our week, it's sometimes very important for us to think like Sammy Hagar and Van Halen did in a great song, right? And that song means a lot to me because last night in Regina at a function with a full house of people that are so excited about their future, and some of the stories that came out of that room absolutely inspired me to want to do more and just really help people really understand what it is that we have here in our Valentus opportunity. I started to think about this gentleman, Lauren Pyatt, that came up to me, who had been in a great business for many years ago, that started in 1959, that's a multi-billion-dollar company, but it wasn't in him anymore. It wasn't something he wanted to pursue. He said to me last night, "Don, I'm going to finish what I started 20 years ago." And so when I thought about that statement, it absolutely gave me the premise for this call today to say to you, if you read and listen in the moment of where you are at your point in your life, we all have to finish what we've started. And as Van Halen said, let me read you some of these lyrics because I looked it up this morning. "Come on, baby, I'm incomplete. I like to look at the long run. I like to take it each step one by one. Right on time, you will arrive by keeping the dream alive. It's alive and it's kicking inside of me. So come on, baby, please, come on, baby, finish what you started." You know, I don't hear the words. I hear the music. And so many of us in our lives go through missing everything around us, and we're in the back seat. As I've done on another training call, we miss it because we're not in the moment. And when I heard that statement last night from a successful businessman today that loved the journey that he started 20 years ago, and he said publicly he's going to finish what he started 20 years ago, it was exciting to me. I realized just what we have here, folks, just what we have in our hot little hands. And when you start hearing the words in the songs that we listen to on the radio or on your satellite or on your whatever the heck, sometimes we miss it. My wife says to me all the time, "You didn't hear those words." I won't tell you the complete story, but there was a time when we were on vacation that Nancy and I were in a facility, and the words were really something I should have paid attention to, but I didn't. And she said to me, "Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening?" And as soon as I realized what the words were, it was time for us to leave the facility we were in. But I'm just sharing with you that sometimes we miss it because we're not in the moment. And so it's so important for us to finish what we've started. And so along those lines, when you start thinking about that, are you physically right now in your moment? Are you physically understanding what you have here with Valentus? Do you hear the words that are said around you and the people that are asking you for help? Are you smelling the roses? Folks, I just came from Orlando and I went on the soaring ride in Epcot, and you know, it was an awe-inspiring ride, hanging from these rafters with the screen all around me. And what fascinated me about that ride was that the visual was amazing, but they put smells at you. I wasn't in the desert. I wasn't in Africa. I wasn't in the places that the visual was showing me, but they were putting smells at me. And the connection of the smell let me be in the moment as I was floating in midair in this ride, and I was suddenly there. Are you in the moment with Valentus? Are you ready to reset your business? Are you there? Are you going to say right this minute with me together, We're going to restart our business. We are going to finish what we started. Now, what does that mean to you? Okay, so goal setting is so much to so many people, and we've all heard that writing down goals, putting pen to paper, all of those things are so important. We do. We all realize that. But if you set a deadline, do you understand what that deadline is in terms of a realistic deadline? I mean, I honestly believe that goals have to be reachable, beatable, and achievable. If you can't achieve a goal, then you're going to lose sight of why you started. When we finish what we start, we are at the end of our journey, and so we need to know the end in mind, but we have to be able to set a goal that's realistic. And are we working inside our own mind? Are we getting ourselves to the point that we understand we're sharpening our own saw? We're getting to the point where we have more to offer people. I'll give you some concepts that Jim Rohn talks about in a little bit, but I understand now more and more that my goals, my ability to really finish what I started is to develop a skill set, to really take the first step, to really understand that I got to continue till I'm completed, and I have to reward myself all along for the little wins. And folks, standing in a room last night with this beautiful couple that shared their heartfelt story, and it was I just posted it on my YouTube thing, and it's called Get Results with Valentus. You can go there and watch it. This little video of this lady sharing on our YouTube station there that we have. If you hear her words, what you realize in the Prevail Max, what we really have. It is a game changer. And that little nugget was so much of a reward for me being in Regina, Saskatchewan last night, standing in a room with people that I didn't even have a clue who existed a year ago, many of them. And many of them are new friends. That moment rewarded me for being there because she shared how that Max is letting her 91-year-old brother change his life. I mean, stories like this are the reason why we do what we do, but we want to finish what we started. How many lives can you touch with Valentus? And that really is the magic to the lyrics in Sammy Hagar and Van Halen's song, right? I mean, keeping the dream alive. Don't let anybody steal it from you because it's your dream. You'll kick yourself in the butt because you're the one that failed, not the person that stole your dream. It was you. So don't let anybody steer off the path. Let's finish what we started. Okay, so when I started thinking about this concept and wanted to understand what it was that I've been here for 2.5 years now, pretty much, my wife and I'm seriously now resetting my business. I'm more excited today than I was a week ago, because of the statement that was said to me last night. I'm a student of this business. Are you? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to absorb? Are you willing to take it in and absolutely hear the lyrics? When you listen to a conference call, go back and listen to it again and again and again. Because what I know now about our lives is repetition is the key to duplication. If you hear it over and over again, it will finally stick. When I think about the word form and the feel, felt, found and the basic nuggets of the network marketing industry, how many of you can repeat verbatim what the form is, what the feel, felt, found refers to? If you can't, go back, find it, absorb it, bring it in and know it so you can respond to every objection that comes at you. It is so important for you to feel the moment and be in it. Because the key that Jim Rohn says, are you ready, is to study, to practice, and to teach. Let me give you that again. Write it down. You need to study, practice, and teach. And as my wife says so often, the learning is in the doing. You need to fail a whole pile of times before you get it right. But that's success. The success comes from you just going out there and making it happen, kicking butt, making a few mistakes, retooling and sharpening your saw, and before you know it, your study and your practice, you'll be able to teach. And so when I'm sitting in this room right now with Blair Arns on my left and Brett Griffin on my right, these two guys, interesting enough, as you can understand this concept in our Getting Training manual that we're working on and developing and helping share amongst the leadership of the company and retooling, we have 4 canoes. We have 4 people that we want to enjoy our lives with, right? The 4 pieces of real estate that you can work with people that are primed to you, that you'll give them all your attention, all your time. You know, I said to Blair last night, because he missed something, I said, well, you just lost an oar. And he laughed. But the point I'm trying to make right now is that we're all on a journey to look for people to enjoy this moment with, every moment. Because we're learning together to study, practice, and teach. See, freedom for you means different things, right? It could mean what you believe the good life is, but for me, the freedom is to actually see people develop the skills for themselves, become more of who they can be, and then they can go and let other people stand up and be more than they can be. And that's the whole concept of hugging the world a better way. Getting out there and showing the people out there that you do not have to conform. You do not have to just be ho-hum, I'm here for the next 40 years hoping I can retire. That does not make sense to me. Why would you, on this Monday morning kickoff call, be happy with selling everything to live a minor means to retire on so that you can go through the rest of your lives and, as John Haremza says, tiptoe through life to get to death safely? That doesn't excite me. Forget all that. Let's go through life and inspire. Let's go out there and study, practice, and teach. Let's live in the moment. And for gosh sakes, every one of us on this call, let's finish what we've started. I love that song. Go back and listen to it. But I can promise you this. The amount of times that I'd always heard that song, I never heard the words. I promise you I didn't. I can say that with all my heart. I never heard the words. I play the piano. I love the music, but I never heard the words. But when Lauren Pyatt, in the room last night, hit me with a complete brick wall of my stupidity all my life, missing the words, he said, I'm finishing what I started 20 years ago. I absolutely had a light bulb go on, and I want you all to do the same. And I went and found the lyrics, I read them, and that's just one word and one song that I missed, and all of you did too. So what does freedom mean to you? What is it? I mean, it means different things to all of us, but it starts with a why. Because our why, and let's not just go over and say, hey, you need to tell me what your why is, and I can help you. Okay, great. That's fine. Okay, next page. Well, it's like a newspaper ad. Why don't they work today? Because there's so many other things that can get our attention. We turn an ad in a newspaper and we didn't even know what was on the ad that somebody spent maybe $1,500 to get you to look at. If we could have physically spent the time digging in that page, looking at it, analyzing what that ad is trying to say, they might have got us to go to their store or to their website or to whatever to buy, right? The print doesn't capture your attention unless you create a curiosity to get people to stop. So you know what? We've come up with different marketing techniques to get people to stop in their tracks. I call it stop marketing. But ultimately, what we're doing now is people gotta like you. If they like you, they will do business with you. So freedom comes with the why. Why do you need more money? Why do you need more health? Why do you need to have more time? And so when we look at this in our planning sessions now, and we just did one just about an hour ago with South Africa, and that planning session with this gentleman was all about the why. I mean, we have 12 pages in our manual. That's all fine. But the most important page in all of our business today is the why connection you make with your person. So when I start my day right now and I'm kickstarting my week, I'm looking this week to go and do planning sessions with as many of the people that I dropped the ball on in the last 2.5 years. It's so important for each and every one of you to finish what you started and go back and make a connection with what it is about that person that you can say is in the same space as you in terms of your why. What part of the more money represents you? What part of the more time represents you? See, in Brett Griffin's case, he has a beautiful 9-year-old daughter who is absolutely just a gem. She's actually even got her own, she just turned 10? Just turned 10, sorry. And she has her own little YouTube channel now. She's starting to create her own little brand, right? And she's a dynamic, beautiful girl. But what I love about it is Brett's spending time with her. Folks, I miss so much of my kids' time. The connection in our why that we've done together recently is the relationship we have in his time statement. I connect to him now, and that connect means we can bond together. It's not just a why. It's a connection of why you need more time. And I know why I need more time, and I can relate my more time to Brett. And when we did this together with his friend, his new colleague in Holland, and with Blair's colleague in South Africa, the light bulbs went on both of them. I saw them. But guess what? They had heard it before, but until we did it together and we did this a plan together, they didn't hear the music all the other times. It went in and out. They didn't hear and read the lyrics. They were not ready to absorb what it was. And so each and every one of you today, for the rest of the week, for the rest of your month, for the rest of this year, heading into 2018, be in the moment. Don't miss anything. When I say be in the moment, what does that mean? See it, touch it, hear it, and smell it. If you can listen to the words in those songs, and they mean something to you, and all of us have us. Dave Jordan, love him with all my heart. He's one of my best friends in the world now. He really is. His passion is in music and in sport. If you've ever had the pleasure to be in a vehicle with Dave Jordan and have him say to you, go ahead, Don, pick a song, and then he sings the whole darn thing, and he doesn't miss a beat. It's incredible. He hears and feels the words in the songs. They mean more to them than, and that's why he's so successful. He's in the moment. And that's what we all miss, right? When we started our business, many of us, a month ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, or longer, many of us weren't reading and listening and hearing it, taking it in the ear and letting it sink in. So what is it about your study, practice, teach that Jim Rohn says, and basically it's networking 101, right? What is it about that you miss? So I want to share with you Brett Griffin, who's sitting next to me. Brett and I we're doing a planning session, and you know what, Brett, I said to him, Brett, well, share the form with our new friend. Tell him exactly how he could handle objections. And you know, Brett had said to me he'd probably heard that 30 times, and he could not repeat the form. He could not repeat that the F is family, the O is occupation, the R is recreation, and the M is money. Isn't that interesting? He was listening to the music, but he wasn't hearing the lyrics. And that's why it's so important for me to touch on this, that we all got to go back and we got to think about songs like Sam Hager's song, finish what we started. And for Brett, he said, you know what, Don, I want to start being more. I want to take my business to the next level. I need to be able to practice with what I'm teaching now, so I'm studying. So the study means you've got to not miss a darn thing, folks. These calls are not just to let Don Carson speak. It's for you to listen to 5 times, 10 times. If you like it, listen to it again. Find something, write it down, put it in your head and listen to it. So, Brett, I'm just going to let you share, if I could, what this aha moment has done for you and how your business suddenly, from that moment, has suddenly just took off again. So here's Brett Griffin, Double Diamond from Shoal, Manitoba.
Thanks, Don. You get me excited and pumped. You know what? Just like Don says, when it goes in one ear and comes out the other, I felt embarrassed. And honestly, you need to really take it in and learning and practicing. And I wrote it down. You know, as soon as I didn't know how to respond, I actually said, enough of this trying business. You just either do it or you don't do it. So, you know what? I'm trying. I'm in the driver's seat. And I'm really focused, and I'm now teaching like Don has taught and doing these methods. And for me, you know, by staying in tune and being reconnected to the people that I've brought in and shared this wonderful products with, you know what, that's the whole key is actually doing this, the why section in the new DMO, going through it and taking the time. Don't go so fast. You know what, sit back, go through the steps and really grow and build on that relationship, because when you can do that, you work on those relationships and work on what people want, it just makes things so much easier. So that being said, Don, thanks for the journey. I'm looking forward to tonight. We get to connect with some people out in Saskatoon, so I'm excited. I'm excited to talk with people there.
So there's a guy that's been here for almost 2 years that just reset his business because he realized he had missed the lyrics. He was missing being in the moment. All of you on this call are in the same. I know you are. You've been missing the moment. So let's talk a little bit about that, right? Let's talk about freedom and productivity and some of the things that you might consider to be the good life. You know, we've heard this, many of you before. And again, when you talk about family and what we're saying there is, hey, how's the family? We need them talking. The most important connection you can make with your new people this week is letting them know that you care, letting them know that your heart and their heart is one, that you actually have a chance to show them a better way, but it's not about the transaction of you making 20, 40, 60, or 100 bucks. That is absolutely the most minor thing that should be on your list of goals for the week. The money is not the most important thing. It's the fact that you want to be productive. Listen. Goals in life, okay? And the goal in life is to be having a good life. And for the good life, what does that mean for all of you? Well, I really believe that productivity is the most important self-worth thing that you can have. the value you can bring to your day, the value you can bring to the people around you is so, so important. Helping others to have a chance to reach their potential is value. Those things are true to form when it comes to the good life. Productivity. Think about it. Think about it this way. If you don't produce, will you be happy? Write that down. If I don't produce, and this is your words now, will I be happy? What does that mean to you to be productive? That productivity and the goals that you will set in your life have to be realistic. Yes, we all agree. Write it down. But if you're not productive, will you be happy? And it's in your Valentus business, so we want to be accountable. So we want to track it. We have a great daily method of operation checklist that you can follow if you like. Those things allow you to be accountable to your productivity. So when we say now that all of your activity will cause your productivity, it's so important that you understand that you won't be happy unless you're productive, right? And so we've got to have a method of tracking it. So that's your first thing to be able to go after the good life is start tracking your activity. Start tracking it so you can be productive, right? Now here's the thing that I think many of us don't realize. You know, I sat last night in a room that was full. We had people standing in the back, and you know, it was after 3 days of being at a wellness conference where I chatted with people, and I just was amazed by the response and the fact that not one of the people, actually there was one, and it was a rep with Valentus, knew exactly who Valentus was, and yet we've been working in Regina on an NFR relationship, which was not for resale, but suddenly we are a company that's fully compliant and licensed in Canada, and these folks still had never heard of Valentus. It's amazing. That's our opportunity, right? But here's what occurred to me when Brett said something along the lines of, okay, I didn't know these people. Blair and Brett now are such good friends, but they didn't know each other a year ago. You know, they're riding the waves with me into the world. And all of you on this call, you know, if I don't have you and you don't have me, we have nothing. Each of us needs all of us. This journey we are on is about making friends. And have you ever thought about this? My dad said this almost to the day he died. Don, cherish your friendships because with everything else in life, those friends can pick you up and move you along. Well, in Valentus, how many friends do you really have? Man, I have thousands and thousands and thousands of friends that absolutely, they have my back. They are looking at me and I'm looking at them, and together we know each of us has all of us, right? We are all in this together, and we're all looking at this business right now, and we're finishing what we started, folks. That's what we're doing. But do you have the support system in place? I'm sorry, maybe that's not the way to put it. Do you realize that you have the support system in place? These calls, I'm your friend. Ted Wilson's your friend. Barry Hughes, Peggy DeSalle, my wife Nancy, Corey Johnson, John Aremza, Dave and Joyce. Every one of you in Valentus, our leadership culture, we're all friends. We have each other's back. And you know what? Sometimes we'll do things that'll upset people, but at the end of the world, does it really matter? If you come back to the core root of what our principle of Valentus is, one team, one Valentus, and go for it together, and each of us needs all of us, we will be friends forever, for life. Our support system is to become more than you are and help others become more than they are. Work on you so that others can see in you what they want. They will value your friendship, and your friend base will go up. What is your brand? What is your brand? What are you bringing to the table? Are you going to concentrate on the three pieces or one of the three pieces? Are you going to be the brand that says, I want to promote better health? Are you going to be the brand that's going to promote the business and the money? Are you going to be the brand that's going to promote more time? Or are you going to be the brand that's going to promote one of them or all of them in any piece, whatever that means? That's so important for you to bring value every day to this Valentus business, so you will attract the friends that you want. And if you didn't think you wanted them, they will find you because they will see in you what they want in themselves, and they will seek you out. And that friendship group that you will grow will take you for the rest of your life, so you don't have to tiptoe through life to get to death safely. Who wants to do that? I want more friends in my life from this point on than I've ever even imagined I could have. When I think about that, it excites me. So what value are you going to bring to the world right now, folks? And are you missing anything? Are you missing what's happening right now in this moment? Are you seeing it? Are you touching it? Are you hearing it? When somebody asks you something, are you using the word form to resonate it and come back at them? When somebody says to you, I can't afford that vacation, you don't jump right on them and say, oh, I can show you how to make that money for that vacation. What you've done is you've got the R in the recreation of the word form, and you've resonated in your mind to come back at them, right? You go back at them to say, listen, you know what, were you serious? Were you serious about what you were saying there about wanting to plan a vacation and you can't seem to save enough money? You know, I probably got something for you. I got to run by you. I'm busy right now, and it's always important for them to know that you've got their better interest in mind, but you don't want to dump on them all the time. It's a process, folks. You're working with them little bit by little bit to get them engaged, right? So always important for you to get back to the basics of feel, felt, found, which is, hey, you know what, this isn't for me. You know what, I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but this is what I found. It's so important for you to use that every day. Get it in your heart. That is the lyrics in our song. Feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but this is what I found. If you start your new person in your planning session, and I believe right now our planning sessions should concentrate on the why connection you have with your people so that your heart and their heart is one, and you know what their why and your why is that aligns, and you keep reminding them of that every month, every year. You come back to the why they started, and we go back in our business and we finish what we've started. So, folks, I want you to understand right now that when we approach our day-to-day business, we are all, Jim Rohn, folks, I honestly listen to some Jim Rohn driving to Regina. I'll be listening to it again going to Saskatoon. I'll be listening to it from Saskatoon back to Winnipeg in the car, in the truck. And I'll hear it over and over again because I want to absorb it. I want to be part of his message. And ultimately, what it means is that every one of you have the same wind blowing on you, as Jim says. We all walk into a snowstorm and we have the same storm coming out of it. It's what you do coming out of the other side that matters. It's what we do to set our sail that matters. It's what we put into our heads and our minds and our knowledge that matters. It's what bucket we fill. It's the money we take from our pocket to put in our brain to fill our pockets with money. It's how it works. That's the cycle we're on because we all have to study, we all have to practice, and we have to teach. And if you never thought you were a teacher ever in your life, well, welcome to Valentus. You're on a journey to inspire. All you got to do, folks, is watch a person give their very first testimonial in front of a live group, and then watch them give their second and their third. I will promise you'll never get them off in front of the folks in front of them. They will understand. They will understand the passion of giving people hope when they give their testimonial and people respond in a positive way. I honestly feel that we have an obligation, every one of us, to reset our business, to go back and reconnect with our people, find out why they're here, what they want from this journey, and see what is in common with your whys. Align them up and let them not miss a thing from this point forward. And once you do that and you start the planning session with them, make sure they understand the basics of our business, right? Reset, folks. This is what we're doing now. Feel, felt, found. What does it mean? Let them repeat it to you. Let them understand it. And make sure they know the form. Family, occupation, recreation, and money. And make sure they understand that they're not to talk about what they just heard the first time they hear it from their prospect. It's not about, hey, how's your family? Oh, they're doing great. So-and-so's sick. I wish he could get better. He's got diabetes. Oh, I got something for you. You should take this product and you're going to improve your diabetes. We don't guarantee anything, but I don't say that moment. At a later time, a day or two later, you say, you know what? I remember what you were saying there. It stuck with me a little bit, and I appreciated that. I might have something for your brother. You know, do you mind if we get him on the phone? I'd like to just chat with him. Those openings are what you're looking for with the family, the occupation, the recreation, the money. Had you ever thought about it that way in all the times you've heard it? Well, my friend Brett hadn't. And he had lost a couple of his canoe paddles for my canoe that I'm traveling with as well, if you understand that analogy I'm using. I'm looking for people to get in the canoes. I actually want to plan a celebration with as many people as possible next summer. I promise you this. I'd love to do this, where we rent 1 billion canoes and we all get in the canoes and float into a beautiful lake and have one of those drones fly all over top of us. And that drone takes a picture of us in that lake and we all reach up and we hug the world. And that message is what we need to bring to the world, folks. We need to let people know we care. When I was in the Bahamas on an incredible trip with Dave and Joyce, and they had just been surrounded by hurricanes, and these kids were walking down the streets with their beautiful, colorful yellow outfits on, and I said to them, you know what, guys, I want my people and friends back home, the kids to know back home that you guys are safe and you're still here hugging the world and welcoming people to your beautiful country. Would you hug the world for my people and let me take a picture so I could send it home? They smiled from ear to ear. They opened their arms with all their heartfelt feelings and hugged the world. I snapped that picture. I shared it, and the world got hugged by Bahamas. Folks, we need to do this. We need to get ready to help the world. Are you ready? Are you ready? Can you study, practice, and teach with me? Teach me, folks. I need help here. I'm learning all the time. I'm a student of this business, and you need to be that too. I hope you got something out of this half hour together. I really do. I really do. If you don't think that my heart's in this business, then you know what? I said this to Ted Wilson one time, then go pound sand, and he laughed. Seriously, we are absolutely all in this together. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you kick-started like I am. I'm ready to rock it. In Saskatoon tonight, we're actually going to live feed on Zoom. Are you ready? Here it is. 604-249-4601. 604-249-4601. We're going to live Zoom the opportunity at 7:30 Central Time. So if you want to join us tonight, you can kick in there and watch some activity that's going on in Saskatoon. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great, wonderful week. All the best, everyone. God bless.